Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Racers Driving League Season 13 for round number 9 of the Championship, the Canadian Grand Prix. We're nearing the midway stage now of the season. It's been a very exciting fight, at least in terms of the Championship lead so far. Salve Blaze, of course, the new Championship leader after the events in last week's race. Unfortunately, Salve Laddle isn't with us tonight. So it's a big opportunity for Blaze to potentially increase a Championship lead. The two Alpine drivers will be going at it by the knuckle each and every single race so far this season in terms of the championship fight. It's been very entertaining so far. Landlord's led the way for the last couple of rounds, but since Azerbaijan it's now Blaze who shows the way. 121 points to 115. C110P fan back there in third place on 82 points. PJ Khaled in fourth with 62. And JB Racer in fifth place on 48 points. So a very solid opening 8 rounds for him. We're looking to improve on that tonight, where in the opening stages now of qualifying, the first car to be crossing the line for the start of his first time run is the Alfa Romeo of Lucky Lambert, so keep an eye on him. It's been an alright start to the season for him. So far in 12th place in the championship, 28 points from the opening 8 rounds. He comes to the last corner now, taking on a lap of the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, as he goes through the final corner past the wall of champions and now over the line to start the lap. Down towards turn 1, it's a very short run to turn 1. He keeps it very nice and tidy there through the curbs. Through turn 1 and 2. He passes his teammate on the right hand side there. Tusky Popers makes his way towards the first chicane, or the second chicane, sorry, on the lap. Through the grass a little bit, but gets away with it. No track limits violations. Alex already retired from the session. Oh no, apparently he hasn't violated the track limits, so he's Hamilton validated just like that. Right, so we'll go to the next car behind him then, which by the looks of it is Salve Blaze, the championship leader, who makes his way back, essentially where we left off. Making his way towards the next chicane. Of course, think back to 2011. Sebastian Vettel lost this race here to Jenson Button on the last lap by going wide in that same corner. Down the DRS straight, there are a total of 3 DRS zones on the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, so it'll be a lot of overtaking here tonight, we hope. Of course, a very entertaining race here last season through yet another chicane. And making his way now towards the far end of the circuit for that very tight hairpin. The right-hander down to gear 3, 40 miles an hour minimum. As he makes his exit now, it's a decent run. Coming towards the second sector split now. Let's see what he can get. No, excuse me, we're already past the second sector split. That's on me being an idiot. Right, down the DRS straight and towards the final corner. Of course, the ever-present, the famous Wall of Champions. Oh, and he's going off into the pits. He's invalidated. I'm also blind. Right then, so that's the end of at least for me, fairly disastrous first time run. But here comes Ethan to the line in the Red Bull, who's picking up where we left off. And he sets the first time in the session. We're at 11.016. And can anyone top that? Che Oliver does top it by almost a second there. He goes fastest, 1 minute 10.2. PJ Keller goes third. And Dan in fourth there, 1 minute 12.5. So around 2.3 seconds off the provisional pole setter, of course, right now. Oh, we've got a spin there in the back I just saw. I believe that was one of the Williams cars. And that was Iwardy there, who's lost control of the car. He's got the car going again. I'm not sure if he picked up. I think he may have picked up damage. I think I saw something come off of that car. I think for the minute he's okay. He's drive that one back to the pit lane. So all is not going well for Iwardy so far. 7 drivers having now set times. Ericsson goes second, just 4 tenths off. A C110P fan, the AlphaTauri goes fastest. Third in the championship, first on our timing boards, 1 minute 10.151, so just over a tenth in front of Che Oliver. Ericsson, as I was saying, down there in third. Of course, the 2 Ferraris running this special Ferrari Modena livery that was run in yesterday's Italian Grand Prix. A very nice livery, if you ask me. I do appreciate the look of the yellow. It's always nice to see F1 teams going for something new. I have many cars retiring here. The next one to retire is Prolol. I have to see if we can catch at least what's happened to him there. And Tusky Pope also spins out as well. So Prolol may despawn at the worst time. It's like a nasty crash from what I'm seeing there. And the Williams out of qualifying. We've had 5 drivers who have already retired of our 19 car pack. There's Tusky Pope making his way through sector 2 and going towards the next chicane. Keeping the lap valid. I'm being George Bear, who turns the map on the bottom right, so to avoid any more blunders. 1 minute 2.0, his second sector. As it comes to make his way out the hairpin and down towards that DRS straight. Can he beat his teammates' time? Actually, no, he can't, because I've just seen it and he's spun off. So he's recovered the car. I'm assuming he'll probably come into the pits this time, because he may or may not have scuffed that set of soft tyres from the spin. And in he comes. Okay, right. Of course, I've been informed that Lando has a replacement tonight. And that is this man, Dan008. Of course, last season drove alongside Landlord in the AlphaTauri, and this season he's replacing Landlord, at least for tonight. Only a few cars out on track right now, 11.5 minutes to go. The top half of the pack have all set times, we're just waiting on 5 more of them. And my maths are wrong, only 4 drivers have retired. One of them being Alex, who's... oops, Salvi Blaze goes fastest there. The championship leader, 1 minute 9.771. Brilliant lap for him. It's a shame he didn't see it. But that will help him even further. He's about 4 tenths in front of the other driver on the front row. C1 Tim P fan, still in second place. As Che Oliver, third place in the running order, comes through to start his next lap. Taking a look at the Drivers' Championship standings here. 32 points for him from his opening 8 races in the championship. He'll be looking to add to that tally tonight. We're hoping for a chaotic race tonight. However, not as chaotic as the last few have been in terms of incidents. Of course, think back to last week's race in Baku, two very eventful starts on the opening lap. While the 2 Alpines duelled into turn 1, the rest of the pack scuffled behind them, and it came out a bit messy. So the debate over the course of the last week or so, in the immediate follow-up of that race, as we see an Aston Martin spun out. That's Tinky Winky, if I'm not mistaken. He's recovered the car. It's safe for the time being. Yes, so the debate has been whether or not ghosting should be turned off. And he spins out again there. Again, it saves the car. Very impressive. And he leaves room for the Ferraris to go through, and then prematurely spins out in front of him. And that was Ericsson, who is both these 2 cars arguably struggling in these overcast conditions. Yeah, so the debate has been as to whether or not ghosting should be turned on or kept off, and the decision has been that it should be kept off for the time being, and hopefully we'll see a bit more care taken on starts. Of course, as enjoyable as it is to see people trying to win the race in the first corner, it can lead to some nasty accidents, and that's not always what we want to see in league racing. Yellow flag here in all 3 sectors as of right now, and that's just cars slowing down for the rivals to go through. Che Oliver went second fastest on his last lap, 1 minute 9.97. He's backed off on this lap, so I'm assuming home to the pits. Yep, in he comes. C1 MP fan has been knocked off the front row. The Alfa Romeo just in front of him there. I believe that was Lucky Lambert, who according to his Sector 1 times was 300ths of a second up. So I've no doubt that'll be frustrating. Keep an eye on Ethan now as he makes his way through the second sector. 8 minutes left, it's still Blaze on top. Good lap from him so far. He's coming towards that second sector split. He's keeping the car nice and controlled. Control is a real struggle for these guys here tonight. He's 2 tenths up. So this could put him into the 1 minute 10s and potentially either up into 5th or as I say, potentially even onto the second row should he gain another 10th off of this DRS straight. Here he goes now. Looking to put himself in 4th, just in front of Ericsson there. If he can gain another 10th in this last corner. Real spree slowed up for World Champions there. Slow and fast out. And now flying towards the line. What's it going to be? He goes 5th fastest, so not quite enough. He lost some time in the last sector. So that's unfortunate for him there. His teammate Paris invalidating his time. Pope also invalidating. Lucky Lambert he's going again, but he's down on his best effort. And it's just been passed there by JB, who's got to 11th place. Of course, so JB 5th in the standings. We're looking to improve on that. Now, as it stands, 14 points back from PJ Khaled, who runs in 6th at the moment, as we near the last stage of qualifying. I think we'll see at least one more run for the majority of these drivers, at best. Glaze improving once more. He's just under 2/10 up on his best time, 1 minute 9.7. So could be potentially 4/10 ahead of Che Oliver's time should he finish this one off. Oliver himself coming to the line. He's just invalidated. And now into the final corner for Sally Waits, the championship leader who's invalidated there at the last turn. And I myself am experiencing real deja vu from that. And that lap would have put him on 1 minute 9.5. Which would have been even further ahead. But I myself am getting deja vu to how last season's race ended in Canada. Of course, he was leading the way. And on course to post some more points to landlord in the championship. But penalties got in the way. He got a time penalty in the last corner for track limits, and the fact that the pack was all bunched up due to a safety car restart meant the end of his chances of victory. I believe Lando actually wanted to claim the victory that day, and a week later in Australia he went on to win the championship. So we're hoping for, at least for Glaze, that those thoughts aren't plaguing his mind as of right now. Mentally, it looks like he's doing fantastically at this point. A lot of cars into the pits now, so I think we'll be looking at one more run for each of them at this stage. So we're back into the pits. I'm assuming Blaze will join him now. Yes, in he comes. So this entire session, the skies have looked particularly threatening, but no sign of any rain at any point during qualifying. So that doesn't have any effect whatsoever, which I'm sure some drivers would be happy about than others. But a wet race would definitely throw things into chaos with our 19 car field. Tinky Winky, one of the few drivers out on a lap as of right now, is making his way towards the Sector 2 split. No time set for him as of yet. 42.074. It's time in the second part of the track, and now out the hairpin and down the DRS straight and looking to push himself higher up the order. It's the only Aston Martin in the race tonight. He's the one we're missing. We're missing Zach Sherman. Unsure as to his whereabouts as of right now. Here comes Tinky now round the final corner, putting on the DRS. He charges towards the line. This could be a good lap here. Over the line, P6. So onto the third row, just in front of PJ Khaled. And that was very tight between him and Ethan in 5th place. Ethan's making his way to the last corner, but he's backed off, so this time won't be an improvement. And just behind him, that's one of the Williams cars coming through. And that's Wardy, who looks to be starting his next lap. He's invalidated already. So that is confusing. We had a Mercedes round just in front. And by the looks of it, that was Sniper Hunter. Recover the car. I had to look for any sign of damage here, because he almost spins it again. They're swimming up with those tyres. Gets himself moving off again. Yellow flag, Sector 3. That's just Tinky going slow. Backed off particularly here. Unless he can get back to the pit, he'll have to move out of the way of the cars and making their way up behind him. One of them being Ethan. Best time 1 minute 10.8. And now into the final corner, we're looking to improve on that. But he's invalidated at the last turn. And that would have been an improvement that would have sent him up into 4th place. Sniper Hunter off into the pits. Stinky Winky disconnects now. Iwardy off into the pit lane. Lucky Lambert just went 12th. And there's Che Oliver there with a 5th place grid penalty for illegal blocking. And it looks like he's blocked. Again, he's blocked Cockney Goblin, who is also coming out the pit lane for his outlap. So I'm unsure as to what's happened there. Going through on the grass to avoid getting in the way of either one of the 2 Ferraris. But a 5th place grid penalty, so he'll start no higher than 6th place on the grid. And this will bring C110P fan back onto the front row, but I'm sure he'd like to change that in some way. Ericsson over the line, stays 4th. Everyone in the top 3 now out on their last runs as we enter the last minute of qualifying now. PJ Callard up ever so slightly. And Paris 3.5 tenths up. If he can go the last bit of that invalidating, they could potentially bring himself up as high as 5th place. Should he finish this lap off? So this is a crucial time for the Red Bull, who could try and beat his teammate here. Oh, and he's invalidated at the last corner. And I can't imagine how frustrating it must be as he charges towards the line. And he would have narrowly got himself just alongside his teammate by 7,000 to the second had he finished that lap off and kept it valid. Iwardy's got 20 seconds now to make it around to the line. He's put the car on the wall and around he goes. And I dare say that'll be the end of his endeavours in qualifying. He'll be starting highest 11th on the grid. Ericsson over the line. Oh, there goes Pope! That's a huge crash for Pope, we just managed to catch. The checker flag has now fallen. 4th place for Pope. Che Oliver has a damaged Iwardy now in his way, and that has ruined Oliver's lap if he was on one. Checker flag now out. And Blaze pulling over to the side. Ericsson was up in Sector 1. Can he keep himself up in Sector 2 as well? Oh, he's lost a lot of time in the 2nd sector. Lucky Lambert out of the session as well. I believe he was retired in the pit lane there. Che Oliver now back to the pits. Fan of the line improves, but invalidated, so he stays in 3rd. However, he'll move up to 2nd place thanks to Che Oliver's grid penalty. So it looks like he'll be starting 7th for the race, unless Ericsson could do something about it now. Out of the last corner and charging towards the line. No improvement. A lap time that looked brilliant to start with, perhaps not so good to finish. So that should settle it then. Championship leader Salve Blaze with a huge opportunity to extend the championship lead from 6 points to a maximum of 32, starting from pole position here in Canada. So Blaze on pole then, Che Oliver 2nd in qualifying, but will start in 7th place. C110P fan 3rd, Pope 4th, Ericsson 5th, Ethan 6th, Tinky Winky 7th, Sniper Hunter 8th, PJ Callard 9th, and Paris T32 in 10th. So that will do it then for the start, or at least for qualifying. I'll be back with you in a few minutes' time for the start of the race. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of the Canadian Grand Prix, round number 9 of season 13 of the Racers Driving League. Qualifying was very entertaining. The championship leader, Salve Blaze, on pole position with an opportunity to extend his championship lead thanks to the absence of Salve Landlord tonight. We're a few seconds away from the start, so it should be a very exciting 35 laps here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, the formation lap now starting.
The formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race.
So, of course, as the formation lap goes on here, I do want to take a moment to offer the league's condolences, of course, for the death of Queen Elizabeth II. So let's take a moment of silence for her there.
As the cars come back towards the grid to line up for the start of the race, each driver will be wanting to get the best start they possibly can. And they'll be hoping to finish today's race on the podium, failing that, within the points.
Yeah, of course, in regards to Her Majesty's death, everyone at the league sends their full condolences to the royal family. Hopefully the race will be entertaining for us, at the very least. Alright, here we go. 5 red lights now for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. Round number 9 of the championship. Lights out and we are underway. Oh, it's a terrible getaway for... What on earth has happened here? What on earth? Looks like one of them just didn't move away at the start. And that's 4 drivers out of the race on the bat. I'm thinking that should be cause for a red flag. See, I'm thinking we'll be going to an intermission in just a moment. I'm just waiting for the, confirmation. It will be under a red flag, so intermission will be coming in now for a moment. Unsure as to the confusion there. Yeah, so we're back in a few minutes then with the start. Welcome back, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the start of the races, or at least the second attempt of the Canadian Grand Prix, the Racers Driving League Season 13, round number 9 of the championship. The weather, of course, is now a lot brighter. Now, the clouds have lifted since the red flag after the somewhat disastrous start we witnessed just about 5 minutes ago. So we're looking forward to getting this one underway. A few more seconds now to the start of the formation lap. And here we go.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out.
So we go then, the formation lap getting underway. Majority of drivers on mediums and hard tyres. Paris T32, BJ Van Leeuwen and Prolol have all gone for the softs. Blaze starts on the hard tyres, C1 and P-Fan on the mediums.
So as all the cars reform the grids, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring the planned strategies are all in place.
Pack now lining up on the grid at the start of the race. The last cars now joining up at the back. And now here we go. 5 red lights for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. Round number 9 of the championship, the second attempt at the start. After the red flag and it's lights out, foot to the floor, go, 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 go. It's a brilliant getaway from Blaze down the run down towards turn 1. Everyone's got over the line smoothly here. Blaze leads to the first corner. Oh, and there's a big crash at turn 1. And that is Pope and Ericsson, both of whom now have no front wing and a safety car. Well, it's a virtual safety car already deployed. Blaze got way well on the start. He leads. C1SMP fan second, and now Ethan in third. Very unfortunate for Ericsson and Pope. Ericsson's already caught up. However, those two will struggle a lot more when we get back to racing, thanks to the fact that they have no front wings. And actually, there is a safety car. So, for the first time today, the safety car is deployed. I have a feeling this won't be the last time that we see it. Blaze got off the line spectacularly by comparison to Fan on his right. And Che Oliver's making up from that grid penalty there. He's right up to 4th place. Now we keep an eye on BJ Van Leeuwen and Prolol, who've both gained 7 places each. Brilliant stuff here from those two. Down in the drivers' chat, Paris T32 looking as of right now taking responsibility for the incident. Didn't quite catch his involvement in it. Fortunately for Ericsson and Pope, they're still going. And like I said, there'll be some change in strategy. I believe Paris may have picked up damage. He's lost an end plate. So there'll be a front wing change for him. And realise a set of what look to be another set of soft tyres. Now away he goes. Ericsson. Of course, a special Ferrari livery on the car this weekend. Or this week, this Monday night. Pope onto mediums, Ericsson also onto mediums. Both cars are now away. Majority of drivers, as I say, on hards and mediums, with the exception of BJ and Prolol on the softs. As well as Paris T32 pit onto another set of soft tyres after repairing his damage. So it'll have 1 lap fresher tyres than everyone else, along with Snap Hunter, Ericsson and Pope behind, all of whom are still in the race. Fortunately for those two, the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo, of course, had the disastrous incident at turn 1, which could have seen the end of their races. I feel like if Pope had hit the wall any harder, that would have been race over for him. But he's still going, and there's a lot of racing still to go, so I wouldn't count anything out for him just yet. However, he's got quite the task in order to work his way back through the pack. In terms of the live standings, as of right now, Blaze will lead the championship by a total of 32 points. It was 6 points clear of Save Lando coming into tonight. Speaking of Lando, his replacement, Dan in the other Alpine, there in 13th place. Ericsson and Pope closing up to the back of the pack. So we're getting ready to get back on the way here for lap 4, we're hoping. So Blaze leads them with Fan in 2nd, Ethan 3rd, Oliver back up to 4th after his penalty, Tinky 5th, PJ Khaled 6th, Lucky Lambert 7th, BJ 8th, Prolol 9th, and Courtney Goblin in the top 10 here. And it's JB 11th, Wardy in 12th, Dan 13th, Ferguson 14th, Alex 15th, Harrison 16th, Sniper Hunter 17th, Ericsson 18th, and Pope taking the final place in 19th. So we're missing Zach Sherman from tonight's race. Here we go then, safety car in this lap. How will Blaze handle this restart? Will he try and get away as quickly as he can? Or will Fan have a chance to attack? Back in the pack up. It's a long straight. You can choose to go at any point here. However, one would think he'd try and go for it coming out the last corner. So he's going now. That's very early on. Just waiting for the green flag to come back out. Fans closed a little bit here as you get back to racing on lap number 4 of this Grand Prix. Got his drop back a little bit here. JB closing on him. So I think he'll get away very well. There goes BJ around the outside. Lucky Lambert there through turn number 2. That's a brilliant exit from the AlphaTauri around the outside, and he'll take away the 7th spot. So good restart from him. He's gaining a place. Paris on the soft tyres, having also passed Alex to go side by side into the chicane. It's going to be very tight here. Yellow flag behind them already, and that's JB Racer who's gone around. Has he got damage to that car? It looks like he's got away with it just about. And Paris has found his way past Alex here out of the chicane. His next target being Fergus just in front of him. Those soft tyres doing their job in the opening laps of this Grand Prix. There's Prolol looking to try and attack Lucky Lambert from quite a way back, going into the hairpin. No chance of that. So we're just over 2 more laps before the DRS kicks in. And Fan is on the chase, looking to try and take the lead. And very close to hitting the wall of champions there. The top 4 have got away arguably quite well as Blaze sets the fastest lap. And there goes Chandler looking around the outside of Ethan into turn 1. And a little bit deep, but he's got away with it. He's held his line. And medium tired McLaren now up into the podium places. Tinky Winky about a second and a half back from these two. He's got problems of his own right now, defending from PJ Khaled. Is about half a second behind him as it stands. BJ just behind him in 7th. Up front though, Fans still chasing Blaze. About 5 or 6 tenths between them, the gap staying more or less consistent. BJ on those soft tyres could really be an advantage here. PJ Cab with a particularly poor exit in the Haas. BJ getting a bit squirrely there, he's managed to hold on to the car. And there's Lucky Lambert just behind him. BJ not to the outside, going in towards the final chicane. That's a simple pass there on PJ Khaled into the final corner. Move BJ up to 6th. Good stuff from AlphaTauri so far. 2nd and 6th as DRS gets enabled for the first time in this Grand Prix as we get lap 6. And Fan be looking to stay within that 1 second window for as long as he can. Blaze is getting away. He's looking to try and shut that opportunity down, but as they come through, they've made it through the detection point, and Fan will have DRS, and this will really help his case. Blaze hasn't had to use much of his DRS so far on this restart. He seems to get away quite well. Definitely caught the AlphaTauri napping to some degree. Yellow flag, and that is Fergus who's going to... Oh, that's a big crash there, and Pope's out of the race. Tusby Pope for the second time caught at the wrong place, wrong time. He's the first driver out, and the safety car, or at least the virtual safety car for the minute, is deployed. And that will help Blaze's case. He gets the lead for at least another lap. So virtual safety car here on lap 6. And Pope out of the race. Down to just 18 runners here. Does Fergus have damage of any kind? I think he's okay. I'll keep going. Up front, Blaze has gone away a little bit. Had to slow down to the Delta. He's built that lead by a couple more tenths than it was initially. And DRS now re-enables to get back to racing. And again, Fam will have the DRS as Paris T32 gets hit with a 3-second time penalty. The first of the night. He's there in P13 for the time being, about a second behind Dan. And the DRS will really help in his attempt to try and hunt down the Alpine in front of him. Randomly on BJ, will he go late on the brakes? Yellow flag, and that looks like to be Paris T32, who spins at the exit of the chicane. Paris turns the car, gets himself going again. I'm thinking BJ will have a good opportunity to move into 5th place now. On those softs, he's going to get remarkably close to the chicane. One has had to back out. It's Tinky who gives. BJ, oh, a poor exit there, but he's up into P5. Tinky Winky though, all over him. It won't be long, potentially, until we see the next move being made in that little battle. JB gets hit with a penalty. Van still around 6-7 tenths behind as Ericsson puts up the fastest lap of the race so far. 1 minute 13.4. JB has Fergus behind him as Prologue gets hit with a penalty. So 5 drivers now with time penalties to their name. The top 3 all within around 1.5 seconds of each other right now. Ethan's shot back on those hard tyres. He must have made some form of mistake, and that's why he's got the penalty. Blaze could be under threat here. No sign of a virtual safety car to help him this time. He's using his battery, of which he's still got a decent supply. And Fan closing in, but not by much. So Oliver might be getting close to him than he is to Blaze. As Prolon now past Lucky Lambert. All into the rampage here. We're looking to try and pass the 2 in front of him. However, here comes Lucky Lambert as Che Oliver puts up the new fastest lap. Lucky Lambert around the outside on those hard tyres into turn 1. Backing out for the minute, trying to get a better run around the outside. And he will have that. He had the edge briefly. Prolon still with him. And falling back down to P9. BJ trying to get away from Tinky. Oliver now very close to Fad, about half a second between them. Back now towards the hairpin. Blaze going very wide there. Could this be an opportunity to close in time? And there's another yellow flag. And that is for Dan in the Alpine, who spun out in the exact same place that Paris did. No virtual safety car for the minute. We stay green. And Fan has closed in. Got the gap down to within half a second here, so they charge down the main straight. About a second covering the top 3 right now. Ethan, 3.5 behind. BJ, 2.5 behind him. Prolol, no attempt to get past Lucky Lambert this time with Ericsson starting to try and fight back here. He's making the pass on Alex to get up to P11. So after that incident in the first corner, he's doing a brilliant job so far. Yellow flag, 6-3, and that is Paris. He's made a mistake in the final corner. I don't think he's got damage. He may have just spun out. And now yellow flag, 6-2, and who is that? That's Tinky Winky who's gone around. He's had to wait for everyone to move out of the way. He's going to fall right down to P17 as he gets going. Oh, and there goes Dan! I think that may have unsettled Dan there. As a drive-through for Tinky Winky for a severe collision with him, and I feel like that may be deserved on his part. I'm sure what he went to do wasn't intentional there. But I feel like there'll definitely be harsh words between those two about that. It's Courtney Goblin now passing Sniper Hunter, who's dropping back here. And Tinky Winky out. He's crashed the car. And a safety car looking to be deployed for the second time today. It's a virtual for the minute. Will it be converted into a full safety car? Sniper Hunter and Fergus now both into the pits. Front wing change going on the Mercedes. It's a mere tyre stop for the McLaren onto a set of hard tyres. Could they take him 25 laps to the end of the race? I'll have to wait and see. Any safety cars will certainly make his job easier. Blaze attempts to use the delta time to his advantage in an attempt to try and get away from C110P fans. The green flag comes back out. DRS now re-enabled. Through the detection zone, Fan will have it again. Oliver now 2 seconds back. Yeah, very unfortunate for Tinky Winky, our second retirement of the race. Once again, checking the progress of Ericsson there. He's still there, he's still in 10th place, but closing in on Wardy. And that Ferrari is dangerously quick here. He's lost 6 places in his original starting position. If he can make those back up, then I'm sure he'd call this day a success. Prolol dropping back here from Lucky Lambert. Those tyres must be falling off the cliff at this rate. BJ about 1.5 in front of PJ. And Blaze and Fan have now pulled away to a decent advantage over Oliver in third. And the DRS coming into play once again for the AlphaTauri. Down towards the right-hander once again. Through the chicane, both cars keeping it nice and smooth. Blaze looks to be perhaps faster through the corners. But those exits aren't really his forte. And that's where Fan looks to be potentially getting a bit more time. It'll be DRS once again. I think Blaze definitely got the measure of Fan through the hairpin. As they come towards the chicane once more, the final corner. And Blaze may have gone a little bit closer to the wall he might have liked. It's Paris 232 with what looks to be another penalty. 2 drivers with 6 seconds right now, those two being Prolol and Paris. So the Red Bull and the Williams. Ericsson now gets hit with his first one of the night. It's P9 here of Prolol entering the pits to ditch those soft tyres. Onto a set of mediums now. So it looks like we're thinking about one more stop, perhaps onto a set of soft tyres in the late stages. A safety car really do him wonders at this stage. Not this stage, but later on in the race, if he's played that strategy through. Blaze has got to about that 1 second window now. He's really turned up the heat on Fan. And Fan will not have DRS in this next straight, so good opportunity for Blaze to try and now extend his lead, which is really straight beyond that 1 second advantage that he's been kept within the entire race. This is a good opportunity to try and get away on natural pace. PJ Khaled still chasing BJ in the AlphaTauri. 5th place as Dan gets hit with the penalty. And Blaze sets the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 13.2. PJ Khaled with the time penalty of his own. Over the line, he's about 6.5 tenths back from the AlphaTauri he's chasing. And look how much difference a lap makes. Blaze now 2 seconds clear of the AlphaTauri that has been chasing him throughout the opening 14 laps of this Grand Prix. PJ all over the back. The AlphaTauri has been chasing on those soft tyres for a good few laps now. Those Red Bull tyres will be going off the cliff at this stage. And this will be the Haas's moment to attack. Going down towards the hairpin here. It's going to get very tight between the two. Ooh. Came very close to contact there. PJ had to go wide as a result, but he got a good exit and have DRS here as his teammate Alex gets past Wardy for the 9th spot. DRS now enabled. A C110P fan into the pits for the first time today. Oliver also joining him in there. Blaze will stay out for a bit longer thanks to being on those hard tyres. BJ goes straight on off into the pit lane. So it's a double stack for AlphaTauri. And that should work. And it will work. And 5-second penalty though for BJ for speeding in the pit lane. Had to wait for a second or so just to get those tyres ready. But he's away. However, he comes out behind. Excuse me, yeah, he comes out behind Oliver as expected. It's Fan who come out in front of him. It's Prolo now sets the fastest lap, minute 12. Ethan now in second, a full 10 seconds behind Blaze to Stanzel, 9.9 to be precise. And there he is, there's the 10-second mark being hit. And how much longer will these top 4 stay out for? I'm thinking Fan and Oliver are looking to go to the end of the race on those hards. And most likely be a medium tyre stop for Blaze, depending on how far he wants to take those. So he could go soft to the end if he can make those hards last for another 10 to 12 laps or so. So long as he's gentle on them and doesn't push them the whole way. Alex making the pass now on Ericsson in 5th place. And Haas on the DRS again, but the Ferrari keeping within the slipstream, so doesn't have too much effect. I'm already about half a second behind them. So lap 16 now this Grand Prix. Blaze still leads the way. I thought I just saw a brief lock-up there. No smoke. But not what looked to be a lock-up nonetheless. Fan now has about 2 seconds on Oliver. He's about a second back from Morty, who may or may not have just given him the DRS. Yellow flag, and who is that? That looks to be the other Alpine Dan. For a second, I thought that was our race leader, but apparently not. Alex chasing Lucky Lambert, who looked to break the toe on the right-hand side. The Alfa Romeo backs out into the last corner. JB gets hit with the penalty. 3 seconds for multiple track limits warnings. Ericsson now goes to the outside of Lucky Lambert as well. So Ericsson now up to 5th place here and doing a brilliant job. Unsure as to where he'll emerge after pit stops. But 5th for now, and still chasing Alex for 4th. However, he'll also have DRS from his teammate PJ Khaled. Both Haas drivers on those hard tyres. I'm hoping for their sake they'll have it coordinated as to who stops when. A double stack could spell nightmares for one of their races, and I'm sure now they'll be the one to want to do it together. Of course, Constructors' Championship points are very important. In terms of the Constructors, they run 3rd place and only just 3 points in front of Mercedes. However, quite a way off AlphaTauri. Yellow flag in Sector 3. And who is that for? I'm thinking that may have been for Dan again. And that's Dan retiring from the race. So Dan out. Retiring in the pit lane. Paris T32, another penalty for him. In terms of the penalties as it stands, Paris has 9 seconds. JB and Prolol both have 6. BJ has 5. Yellow flag for... That's Ericsson looks a bit... Oh no, never mind, he's going to the pits. It's still the yellow flag for Dan, whose AI is making his way back out onto the racetrack. So it should find a place to pull over and retire. BJ sets the fastest lap, 1 minute 12.7. Ericsson out the pit lane, looking at P12, maybe P13, and he gets himself out in front of Ericsson. So I'll set a hard tyres now, which should take him to the end, no problem. And now the hunt begins to try and get himself back up to where he started. That being 4th place. If my memory serves me correctly. Oliver and Fan chasing Lucky Lambert and the Alfa Romeo here. Fan looking to the inside, choosing to wait for the opportunity. Oliver all over him. This could be a very exciting straight here for these two drivers. Fan looking to make the pass. Oliver closing in. Does he go for it? Nope, not going to go for it. Out the last corner. A good exit could seal the deal now. To the outside, to the left over the start-finish line and down towards turn number 1. Oliver in front. Wardy now into the pits. Ericsson getting passed by Fergus here. But a good exit from Ericsson, keeping him in the fight. Too bad, Fergus pulling away with the help of that rear wing being wide open. He holds on to 11th through turn 1. Blaze now leading by a couple 13 seconds. You're taking good care of those hard tyres. In terms of the gap between himself and Fan, it's looking to be about 21 seconds. Yellow flag, and that's Sniper Hunter on the exit of turn 1. And that's the safety car, and that'll be just what Blaze will be wanting. Into the pits. And this race has played into the hard tyres runners' hands absolutely beautifully. Blaze now into a set of fresh medium tyres and can get away without trouble. And that may have just sealed the race for him. Fan pushing it, trying to get out in front. I'm not thinking he will. And frustratingly, there is Blaze. Back out onto the racetrack. Fresh mediums. Oh! What on earth just happened there? The race leader, Selway Blaze, all of a sudden had the race in his hands and now he's out. From my perspective, it looks like he just drove straight into the wall. What on earth? All of a sudden, this race thrown on its head. I don't quite believe what I've just seen. They caught that at the perfect moment. Selway Blaze, the championship leader, had a huge opportunity to expand that advantage. Being told that his wheel wouldn't actually turn. His wheel must have been locked in some way. So retirement that from our perspective looked, I don't want to say comical, but in other words, quite unbelievable. That was amazing. And now all of a sudden, with 15 laps to go, this is anyone's race. And now it's C110P Fan who inherits the lead, and with Landlord and Blaze both out of the picture, it looks like we're going to have at least 13 to 14 odd laps of racing on our hands. The two dominant forces of the league this season out of the race. One of them not in the race and one of them just retiring. We now have a very, very exciting final stage on our hands. Fan now leads from Oliver second, Ethan third and Alex fourth. Both those two on mediums. Fergus on 10 lap old hards. You should expect to see him pit in the late stage unless he tries to hang those out, unless we get another safety car. And Ericsson there in 6th place. So he could have an opportunity to maximise something despite what happened on lap 1. I'm keeping a particular eye on him. Putting up a very Sergio Perez Sakir 2020-esque drive. And I'll just say right now, I don't want to jinx him. If he can go on to win the race, then that will truly be a spectacular achievement. Lucky Lambert, PJ Khaled and Courtney Goblin all on fresh mediums. Prolo on fresh hards. BJ on fresh softs for this restart. Wardy also on fresh softs. JB on fresh hards. And Paris on fresh mediums. I'm just waiting for those 3 cars to make it back towards the pack. Looks like we'll be going racing on lap 23, I reckon, if I had to guess. But crazy retirement for a race that all of a sudden is turned on its head. But of course, condolences to Blaze, who's out of the race on what looked to be his day. No one really seemed capable of stopping him. Fan had him stalemate right there in the first stint, but going into the third and final stint, it's all gone wrong for him. And now Fan leads. Paris and the Red Bull now the last car to close up to the back. So lap 22 now. Paris only about a second or two off of the pack behind. And we are geared up for what should be a very exciting end to the race. One that we'll be hoping won't be an anticlimax. It's a big opportunity for Fan to gain a lot of points in the championship. And if I very quickly do the maths here on the calculator I have on my phone sitting just next to me, 82 points for Fan as it stands, plus a potential 25 for the win, will put him just 8 points behind Salve Landlord. And as the safety car gets set to go in, all of a sudden, we may potentially have a real fight, a three-way fight in the championship on our hands. He's been given a real lifeline here to potentially catapult himself into the title race. And all he's got to do is hold on for what is essentially nothing less than a 13-lap sprint. Now, the question is, when will he go? Will he catch Oliver out? So he's trying to go now. To the last corner, he's gotten away quite well. About half a second on Oliver as we get back to racing here. Lap 23. Who's going to win this exciting Canadian Grand Prix? Everyone keeping constant as they move through turn 1. Those two hard tyre runners will be experiencing the same amount of tyre wear depending on how hard they push them. Wally gets hit with a penalty. Ethan on those mediums looking quite strong. Alex just behind him as well. Here, remember, big information. Alex didn't actually part in qualifying due to a qualifying ban. He received a lot from last time out in Baku. Here he is now up in 4th place. Around trying to move on Ethan. BJ making the pass now on Courtney Goblin, trying to go around the outside. Oh, a bit of a skid there, but he saved it. And Courtney's still alongside him. They're dead even down the straight. Use the battery around the outside. BJ might just get him to the chicane. The Ferrari backs out as expected. BJ up to 9th and looking for 8th now off PJ Coward, who had a poor exit by comparison. He's going to look to the left-hand side into turn 1. He's going to have the inside line into the first corner. Prolog looking to the inside as well on those hard tyres. BJ around the outside. Can he get the job done? No, not quite. PJ holds on. And the battle of the Jays is the Haas that emerges victorious this time round. Ethan are going to be a lot closer to Oliver than Oliver is to Fan. There's still about 4 tenths in it. Make that half second. The top 4 pulling away. There goes Fergus. And Ericsson takes advantage. Up into P5 now. And Lucky Lambert will go through behind him as well. Ethan looking around. Trying to make something happen. Into the hairpin. Not quite. Oh, he's gone on the grass a little bit there. And there goes Alex up the inside of both cars there. He's made the pass on Ethan. Now looks to pass Oliver as well. What an exciting race this is. And Fan got a poor run and Oliver's closing on him. Could we see a change in the race lead on track for the first time today? Poor exit for Fan. Oliver looking for it. DRS now enabled. Now this is where it gets interesting. The 2 medium tyre runners don't have the track position, but Hat will have that DRS to their advantage and the faster tyres. And their tyres have less wear on them too. JB and Paris at the back going at it. BJ gets hit with a penalty. Courtney Goblin also with the penalty as well. Alex gets his first real chance, or second real chance, sorry, at second place. He's going to take it with both hands here. Trying to draw alongside the McLaren. If he can go late on the brakes, he might have a chance. No contact. Oliver forced a little bit there. Ethan takes all the impetus and goes around the outside. So thank you very much. I'll slide right into that spot for you. And here comes Ericsson. Don't look now. But he's coming up behind them. Also on relatively young medium tyres. And now Alex is looking to go, could be looking to go for the lead with the help of the DRS. Could we see a lead change by the time they reach turn 1? For the back, BJ right behind Fergus. Oliver down to 4th here, using that DRS. Those hard tyres aren't as good as the mediums. Oh, and they've got what looks to be, is there an issue at the back? Nope, it's Prolo and Courtney going at it, and look like BJ tries to make a move on Fergus. He's going for it into the chicane, not quite. May lose a bit of time, could allow PJ back into the picture. DRS about to be redeployed for the Haas down the straight. It's going to be very, very tight between these two. Going down towards the final corner in a couple of moments' time. Fan doing a brilliant job holding on right now. Oh, and there's been contact, and Fergus has dropped back. And Connie Goblin also falling away as well. Alex looked for it into the hairpin. And this is his big chance to take the lead. The top 6 now really pulled away as BJ now stuck back there in 7th. Alex to the outside, and for the first time, the lead changes hands on track. Alex takes the lead. He's got 9 more laps to hold on as Ericsson gets another time penalty. 6 seconds now to his name, and those will really come in. They won't come in handy for him. Yellow flag in the last corner. There's a crash, and that's Wardy. And Paris and JB, who have all come together. All 3 of them keeping going. And that's a safety car. And this could change everything. Who do we see pit for fresh softs? And who do we see stay out to maintain track position? It's all still to play for. Alex now has the lead. He's our 3rd leader in this Canadian Grand Prix. And there is still all to play for over the final 8 laps of this Grand Prix. Seeing the Aston Martin safety car for the 3rd time today. 4th if you count, we won't be seeing it, but that's the 4th course under the safety car on A course, virtual safety car earlier on the race. We've seen 2 of those if I'm not mistaken. Well, hasn't this been a very chaotic night in the RDL? The race that has potentially become Racers Driving League legend. Does anyone choose to come into the pits? Ericsson's in. Soft tyres, no doubt going on that Ferrari. Oliver not taking the opportunity to pit, he chooses to stay out. As does Fan. Those 2 trying to maintain track position because those hards can go to the end. Fresh softs on the Ferrari. Connie Goblin also coming in behind them as well. Had to stop for just a moment, but more or less a routine stop. However, Fergus gets out just in front of him. And Ericsson now the best tyres in the order. Everyone else's tyres should make it in without issue, apart from potentially BJ, who could be in trouble. Staying out under this safety car. And I'm thinking we'll have about 6 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Again, back underway, I assume on lap 30, providing that everyone can catch up by the time we get to the end of sector 2 in a lap's time. Let's have a look at your position change here. Alex has gained 15 places from this race. Of course, he had a qualifying ban, but a lot of drivers retired in qualifying. We have 14 drivers still in the running. He's now ahead of them. BJ and Prolov gained 11 places each. They started 17th and 18th. With Fergus behind them in last, he's gained 9 places himself. Ericsson's lost the most places, at least on track, with 5. And technically, Pope's lost the most places, 16, but he's not in the race anymore, so... Me personally, I don't count the drivers who are DNF'd in terms of position change, because it's obvious it's going to happen to them. On to lap 29. 7 more laps to go. And Paris get a time penalty under safety car. Now, we're going to have to pay attention to these time penalties. A lot of drivers who have them right now, only 3 who don't. Those drivers being Fan, Oliver, and Lucky Lambo. So those drivers stay within range. They, even with the, due to the fact that, you still look at the fact that Oliver and Fan are on those hard tyres still, and that might be why they chose to stay out. Just for that track position in terms of those penalties. And Lucky Lambert has got a very good chance, if he can get past those 2, to potentially snatch the race victory. Alex needs to develop a 6-second advantage in order to stand a chance. At this rate, you'll need to gain a second a lap in order to win this Grand Prix. But will he do it? We're about to find out. The safety car in this lap. Now, when will Alex go? The 3rd different driver to lead a restart. Both the 2 we've seen have gone before the final corner. When does he choose to go? Will it be the same old story, or will he try and go for it when he's safely past the wall of champions? Waiting on when the Haas will punch it. 6 more laps to go when they cross the line. 14 drivers. Penalties galore. Soft tyres in the back. And there goes Alex. And he's left them for dead, and that's just what he needed to do. However, Fan closing in a little bit. Oliver using the ERS, trying to pass Ethan before turn 1. Green flag now back out. McLaren looks to the inside at turn 1. Comes close. At this point, he needs to just keep quick to the end and hold station, but those hard tyres could make it difficult for him. Fan already almost a second back. Alex had the restart of dreams, but he still needs to gain 5 more seconds after this one. BJ maybe regretting his choice now. Those soft tyres must be dead. They spent a few laps under the safety car, but I doubt that'll help their case. Up front, 1.3 seconds now for Alex. He's gained the 1 second that he needs to on this first lap. Courtney Godwin with a penalty. If Alex can avoid getting any more, he could actually have a fairly good chance to win this race. He's already got a quarter of the amount of the time he needs in terms of advantage. And there goes Fan, losing it a bit. And that could make his job a lot easier now. Yellow flag, sector 3, and that's for Fan, who drops down to P6 now. BJ, his teammate, just about gets in front. Lucky Lambert now up in 4th. Che Oliver 3rd with a good chance to win this Grand Prix. However, Alex has already gained half of that time thanks to Fan's slip up. Fastest lap for the Haas driver. Behind them here, Ericsson looking to try and pass PJ Callan into turn 1. Around the outside at turn 2, might have gone a little bit wide there. Fergus just behind him. Good traction from Ferrari. He's up into 8th place. Yellow flag, and that's BJ who's gone around. No damage done to the AlphaTauri. He can get himself turned around again, but that might be the end of his race. He may choose to retire. Alex, 3 seconds clear. And right now he's got what he needs to beat Ethan, but doesn't have what he needs to beat Oliver, who after spending the entire race in that, practically the entire race in that 3rd spot, now has a chance to win this Grand Prix. Again, penalties playing their part in Canada for the 2nd season in a row. As long as he can keep within DRS range of Ethan, he should have a good chance at winning this race. DRS now enabled by Alex as he crossed the line. Didn't gain too much that time around. Ericsson in 6th place on the back of Prologue. He's on those hard tyres. And these softs should play beautifully. Oliver just about within DRS range of Ethan. I think that's all he really needs to stay within shooting distance of this race victory. Lucky Lambert currently essentially in net second place. He knows that if he can hold on to what he's got now and try and pass Oliver, he'll win this race. But at this point, he may need some kind of mistake from the McLaren, who's really pulling away. 4 seconds now between Alex and Oliver. 4.3, 4.2. Oliver will need to stay within that DRS over the final 3 laps to avoid Alex getting away any more than he needs to. Ericsson passing Prolo around the outside here. Williams backing out. Smart choice. And there goes Fergus at the inside of Fan. That really slows up Courtney Goblin, who might go for it. And there goes Paris off the track. Yellow flag thrown once again. And I doubt we'll see a safety car this late on. Paris going around. He's been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way. Tries to make it back to the pits. But he's out of the race. Disqualified in the closing stages. And into the wall for good measure there. 4.4, the gap between Alex and Oliver. It's 5.4 between Alex and Lucky. Ericsson on course this stage for what looks to be maybe 4th place, which is where he started. Yellow flag, sector 1 still out for Paris. The course is now out. And there goes Prolo's made a mistake, he's gone around. When he get the car, he resets the track there. .9 between Alex and Oliver. That's the gap we're keeping an eye on at this stage. 2 more laps to go. Alex has no stress behind him, other than the McLaren about 5 seconds back. 2 more laps to go. Ericsson, like DRS, looking at trying to line up and move on Lucky Lambert. Can he get close enough? Is it worth throwing the race away potentially? Or is it best to try and stay in line, hold on to what's looking to be a 4th or 5th place finish? I'm thinking of it, looking at it now, I'm realising that my maths is terrible and I'm thinking it'll be 5th place for him. It could be worse, because Fergus is there behind him too, so it might be 6th. But he's going to the inside now of Lucky. Got the job done. 5.5 seconds now. And that gap is increasing. Alex will need 4 more tenths, or about half a second more from this last lap. Oliver will close in a bit more with the help of the DRS. I think he'll want to stay behind Ethan here. And you want to keep getting that DRS. But with that poses the risk of him potentially falling back. Alex starts the final lap. 5.9 seconds now. Alex now full awareness of what that gap is. And that gap for the first time passes 6 seconds. And that's what he needs. And this might be it. Alex may have just done enough on this final restart. Yellow flag. And that's Wardy who's gone around. 6.5 seconds now. 6.6. That gap is increasing. Oliver is losing it. He'd need a mistake from Alex at this stage, who now just needs to bring it home. This race has been nothing short of crazy. 13 drivers have actually made it to the flag. One of them's been disqualified. One of them had a wheel lock up. And that was our race leader who put himself out. This race has come down to a matter of penalties. And unless Alex can get to penalty in this last corner, he passes the World Champion for the final time, which he won't get a penalty. Oliver passes Ethan for second, but has no value. Alex crosses the line to win the Grand Prix, but is it enough? Yes, it is. Alex, spectacularly, by just 3 tenths. Lucky Lambert gets on the podium. Ethan up to 4th, Fan in 5th in the end, Fergus 6th, Ericsson 7th, PJ Callett 8th, Courtney Goblin 9th, and JB nicks the final point of the day. Wardy spins the car over the line, breaks his front wing for good measure. Prolol and BJ, the last 2 cars to come to the line, being potentially one of the best final stages of a race I've ever seen. Alex drove that restart, those final 6 laps to perfection, and as a result he comes away with the victory despite ending up with a 6-second penalty. What a spectacular end as Prolol sets the fastest lap for Kveja. Che Oliver in the driver's chat showing appreciation for the final restart that was driven. It was 3/10 off the race victory. Great race driven by all. Quite a crazy affair indeed. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. I certainly have. And there is your winner. Alex, 2-3-2-3-4-4-6-1. I'm going to say the whole number out of appreciation for our winner today. Winner on this Monday night. And I'll get some. He's only scored 12 points in the opening 8 rounds. And here he adds another 25 to that tally. And that'll move him up to potentially into the top 10 of the championship. Another podium for Che Oliver. That'll get him some more points to move potentially clear of some of the drivers he beat today. Potentially up into maybe 6th or 7th place. No change at the top of the championship. Blaze will still lead. And found an opportunity for him to score some more points. Slipping away from him. Comes home in 5th. So Alex then wins the race. Oliver 2nd. Lucky Lambert 4th. Lucky 3rd. Ethan 4th. Fan 5th. Fergus 6th. Ericsson 7th. PJ 8th. Cotley Goblin 9th. And JB in 10th. It's Woody 11th. BJ 12th. Prolol 13th. BJ's about the fastest lap in the end, according to this. Sally Blaze, the first of the retirees, crashing out earlier in the race. Sniper Hunter 15th, Dan in 16th, Tinky Winky 17th, Pope in 18th, and Paris being disqualified there. Later on, he comes home at the bottom of the order. So that has been your coverage of the Racist Driving League Season 13, Round 9, and what an exciting race it was. You'll join me next week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more RDL action. I've been Zach RC. Thank you so much for watching tonight's race, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.